Hi everyone, welcome to this little video. I just wanted to do a a quick video on spiritual law, on universal law, because there is something that when we hear about it, when we speak about it, when you hear of these things, we don't actually realize the power that we have. We don't realize what it means when we say mind creates matter. So I'm on a bit of a road trip today, and I'm seeing everywhere these signs that say, clean air zone, right? Clean air. And it's really interesting. And there's so many things that kind of bring up, for many people, a lot of anger, a lot of frustration, a lot of angst, a lot of worry and concern. Now, what's really interesting is this is a direct reflection on the universal principles that create this earth. Now, we can spend all day and all night kind of saying they're doing this, these are doing this, these people, whether it's government, a collective field, or an energetic realm, or anything like that. We can spend all day kind of saying it's them, it's them, it's them. But let's actually look at what's happened here, because this is a perfect example of how we have created this. So, back in 2020, before people kind of cottoned onto things, when everything started kind of showing up, right, in 2020, people usually, or most people, started wearing face masks, right, coverings. There was a worry. There was a concern about safety, about health, about if the air was clean that you were breathing. Let's say that again. When 2020 happened, and it's still happening right now for some people, right? Some people are still worried about this and they will wear whatever they choose to wear, and that's all good. But most people around the world started wearing something over their nose and their mouth to protect themselves from whatever was in the air. So that in that moment there was a belief created, and this belief was so powerful, it was so strong that it ran through multiple countries. In reality, when it comes to spiritual law, we know that nothing can really, everything's energy. So if we are gonna create something within our body, we've created that with our mind. Fast forward 2 years, we're in 2022 now, and that collective belief and that collective fear on some level has been there, whether we've worried about it or whether we've fought against it. In a polarity or a spectrum-based world, that's the same energy, just to different degrees. So regardless as to whether you chose not to wear a face mask or whether you chose to wear a face mask, if there was some underlying fear, which wouldn't be conscious, it would be in the collective energy, the collective matter. The collective energy field of the subconscious, right? Now, what's really interesting is that we really do create reality. And this is a really powerful example. So collectively, there was a belief, whether it was articulated or not. Remember, only a very minute % of thought is even conscious, because the mind is limited in that regard, right? There's only a very minute amount that is conscious, single-digit %, right? So that means like 90% of thoughts is unaware, right? We're unaware of it. It's just happening behind the scenes. This is where shadow work comes in. This is how we have patterns and things repeating that we want to heal. That's usually comes up in eclipse season as well, right? But it's interesting because as I'm driving, I'm seeing all these clean air signs on the road, and I'm like, how can you measure just a pocket of air? You can't, right? It doesn't make any sense. But this is beyond sense. Right? It's beyond sense. And it's interesting because people can get, we can get quite angry or frustrated or charged by it, even if we don't realize it. We might say, oh, I'm not going to do that anyway. I'm not going to pay that anyway. If they charge me, I'm not going to do this, this, and this. And it's interesting because, once again, then you've got a charge against that, right? Whether you believe it or not, you're charged against it. So you're still actually putting energy into that creation. It's a very direct reflection about how our mind creates our matter. Because of that initial belief that was subtly introduced, it caught hold And then we created this, and it's really fascinating, because people ask, about the embodiment of these principles and laws that, we speak of. This is a direct example, right? It's a direct example. Mind creates matter. In 2020, we were worried about the air, and guess what? Now we have a clean air zone scheme in the UK, right? So the point of me sharing this video is, if ever we want to kind of undo something that is created in matter, we have to find a way to neutralizing the charge, to releasing the emotion that we have behind it, so that it doesn't sway us either which way. So it doesn't matter either which way what someone else is doing, what might be created on a grand scale. If we want to uncreate something, we have to release the charge. Now, the charge isn't the expression of the matter. It's not the expression of the physical thing that's now been created. It's the root energy. It's the root energy before that. Okay, so the root energy goes back to 2020. Everyone started wearing masks, and everyone started worrying about the air that they were breathing. Okay, but before that, there is a root energy before that as well. That's what we want to bring healing to, right? And that's the root chakra. That's the fear around mortality. That's the fear around our longevity here. And what is that really? That's the disconnect from source. That's a disconnect from who you are. That's a disconnect from the eternal energy which you are. So it's really interesting, right? So anytime we want to uncreate something that's created in the physical, this could be something small that's in your life. This, and when I say small, I don't mean, it's not important. I mean, it's, on a smaller scale, or it could be something larger and collective. Find a way to feel nothing about it, not charged or pulled either which way, so that the energy doesn't get stuck, because this really is how it creates, is the energy moves through us, it gets stuck, then our nervous system doesn't process it, it becomes matter, right? So if our nervous system isn't releasing the energy from the perception, from what it is that we're looking at, that is the mind, and that then creates through the nervous system into the body. It then also creates outside in the outside world. Does that make sense? So once again, just notice that correlation, right? And just allow yourself, if you wish to entertain and to be curious about certain things that may show up in your life. How did you create them? Even if it's a collective body, like a government, putting something in place, we've created that. Every time we say they, we're giving away our power again. We've always created everything. When we start to take that accountability and ownership for that, guess what? We really master our own universe. We really have an absolute ball on this planet. We have a great time. It's a big shift in mindset though, but it's a fun one. So I hope this has been helpful and interesting, and I look forward to reading your comments if you have any. And yeah, sending you so much love. Oh, you know what? One more thing. Because it really isn't about belief in terms of whether something is right or wrong. This is the point. It's that people have very strong charges. That's what a charge is. Very strong swings of their own inner pendulum. Right? We think someone shouldn't wear a mask, or we think someone should wear a mask, or we think someone shouldn't go outside, or someone should go outside, because we think one of those two things, that's charged either way, that's not neutral. Right? So if you want to uncreate, you got to find that neutrality. Or it just doesn't matter. Right? Anyway, so much love. Bye for now.